Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or of course, welcome to Lone Pine Tarot for the very first time if you're brand new here. Thank you so much for joining me today for our pick a card reading where we're going to have to put on our detective caps because we're solving a mystery today. And what I mean by that is you're going to be able to ask any question and we'll ask Spirit for the answer. So if there's any mystery, anything that you really want to know the answer to, you want to solve from either the past, the present, or the future, that is the question I recommend keeping in mind, especially when you choose your pile leader when we're done shuffling here. So really muse on it, think on it, okay? Let's choose our piles for our highest, best, good. Well, for sure that one says pile 1 to me. And this one for pile 3. Okay, let's unveil your pile leader. So for pile 1 over here on the left, your leader today is Patience. Very beautiful. For pile 2 in the middle, your pile leader is Intuition. And of course, last but not least, our wonderful pile number 3 over here on the right. Your leader today is Centering. Okay, so quick refresher, pile 1 is Patience, pile 2 is Intuition, pile 3 is Centering, though as I always say, you are welcome to pause right now if you need more time to decide what pile you would like read for you today. With my usual method of suggesting meditating on it a little bit, taking in a deep breath, letting it out, and following your intuition, please remember to keep the question you want answered in mind as you do so. What do you really, really deeply want answered? Okay. But whatever your method, whenever you have chosen your pile, you can drop down to the description box below or the top pinned comment beneath the reading. Find the timestamp there for your pile, and after clicking on it, I'll see you in our little chat about solving this mystery and answering the question you really want solved. Toodaloo. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 1. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about answering the question on your mind, solving that mystery. And of course, as you can recall, the pile leader you were drawn to was the card of Patience. So we'll set your pile leader off to the left to begin, and let's start by drawing some of our cards. So let's see. First off, I want to draw from this particular deck, working with the Dream Ritual Oracle. Get some more of a glimpse into the question on your mind as well as the answer. Okay, I'm choosing that one. You know, I'm getting the sense pile 1. And I always say with my readings, they're general readings. So, of course, each and every one of you might have a kind of a slightly different question on your mind. But what I'm hearing so far, just intuitively, is it's like something that you've been either waiting for, that you want an answer back on, and you're wondering why the answer hasn't come through. Like, maybe like something is getting approved, or you're waiting for someone to give you an answer of some sort. Or it could also be like, just, I feel like this feeling in my gut of waiting, and it's just like, oh man, like, and you know, if this is past tense pile 1, it's very possible that maybe it's something that you waited for, and it just never came to fruition, and you're asking why. But that's the general sense I'm getting off of this for everybody here. Okay, I'll take that one. And of course, with the other cards we're drawing, we'll get more of a sense of details, but I just have this empathic feeling in my gut of, oh no, when is the answer coming? Maybe some of you are waiting to hear back from a job interview or a promotion interview, something like that. Or it could be maybe you lost contact with somebody and you're wondering why, like you've been waiting for them. Something along those lines. Okay, that one. Basically, it just kind of flew out by itself, so we'll take it. All right, and then we will, of course, also draw tarot cards in a little while, but let's first reveal your oracle cards today. So let's start with the Dream Ritual Oracle. Today you received Revisit. Okay, so pile 1, of course, there are some of you that have asked a question about the present or the future, but I'm getting the feeling because of this card, a lot of you are asking about the past, aka we're revisiting something. Or it could be that if it's present or future, it's something that you're wondering if you should revisit, or you've been given the opportunity to revisit something and you're not sure if you should take that opportunity or that choice. Okay, maybe you've been kind of burned in the past with this. That's why you're kind of questioning, should I really go back to this? And then same too, linking that to what I heard about the feeling of waiting and that dreadful waiting. It's like, maybe even some of you are wondering, well, should I push it a little bit more? Like, say, for example, if it is like a job interview that you're waiting to hear back on, you're like, should I reach out to them again? Should I kind of nudge that forward, or should I just be quiet and let them come to me? It's something along those lines, okay? And then, actually, I'm going to put that one up here. So we have revisit, and then let's look at your soul mirror oracle. We have teaching, withheld versus giving. Okay, yeah, so it's like you're waiting for something. You want someone to give something to you, or you did in the past at some point, and someone's holding something back, or it's like you're holding something back and you're wondering, should I give? Should I offer this thing? Should I, it's the dichotomy between someone holding on to something and someone giving something. Okay. And I just get this feeling deep down inside pile 1. It's this, I don't know if you tend to have a nervous gut, like you tend to get like an anxious gut and you almost get kind of nausea over these things, especially if you're kind of over worrying, or I shouldn't say over worrying because, I'm not like judging you for it, pile 1. I'm like this myself, and that's why I'm kind of talking about it, because I know from experience having a nervous gut. But I'm also feeling that too. It's like you're so nervous about the answer. It's like, oh man, this is just churning deep down in your stomach. Like, oh. And then looking at your tea leaves, we have success. Okay, so I also get the feeling that because this is the Astral House that came out, it's something to do with you want success with something. You want something to succeed, or yourself to succeed, right? Then your other tea leaf is teardrops, great personal sorrow. So yes, there's a bit of a sadness to this for some reason or another, depending on your situation. Maybe you've even been crying over this, or you did in the past, if this is like a past mystery that you're trying to solve, right? And last but not least, we have cobweb, protected from negative forces beyond your control. So this is the first glimpse of an answer I'm seeing here, pile 1. And I know it's cliche. Some of you might even kind of roll your eyes, but there's a common saying in the spiritual community called rejection is divine protection. And I'm seeing that with this cobweb, that if you have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and or were always left waiting, you never got an answer, or you never got the thing that you were waiting for, it was withheld because there's something that you're being protected from, like the cobweb says, protected from negative forces beyond your control. And I know it was really difficult because, yes, there's great personal sorrow. Maybe you saw it as, oh, I failed. That's why I didn't get this, or why this thing never came. Or you felt sad about it because you were like, oh man, the universe didn't give this thing to me. Like, am I not worthy of it? Something along those lines. I feel like maybe you took it kind of personally, as we all do, right? Pile 1, not pointing any fingers. Everyone kind of takes it personally when we think that we failed at something. But what I'm hearing is it was not a failure on your part. What I'm hearing is that there's some protective element here out of your control by, your spirit team, your life path, the universe in general, that it was not meant for you. There's something not meant for you. Okay. And you thought it was more of a not worthiness, is what I'm hearing. Or if this is currently going on, or it's something in the future, near future or present, right? You're fearing, oh, I'm not worthy. Or maybe you just got the answer today, and you're wondering, why did I get that answer? And then you think, oh, because I'm not worth this success that I want. I'm not worth this, And then too, like I said, with revisit, it's like, maybe you're even thinking, like, should I try again? Should I even bother? Should I reach out again? Okay. Something along those lines. So apply that to your particular situation, right? Pile 1. But Yeah, definitely not a good feeling around this. You know, I get the sense that obviously this has been something that's been hurting you a lot, pile one. So, of course, my condolences. Definitely get that feeling. And I want to say, too, if I had to pinpoint what higher being was involved in protecting you from something, I get the feeling it's like angelic energy, like guardian angel type stuff, or beings, I should say, not stuff. You know, they're people, not things, right? That's just me misspeaking. Oops. Your guardian angels. I think they have been looking out for you, and there was something about this that was not meant for you for a reason to protect you, like I said. They wanted to... I mean, it's almost like them putting an arm in front of you right as you were about to walk out into the street. Like, don't do that. As this is a metaphor, right, pile one, but like it was a car coming that they could see because, of course, they can see it. You know, they're guardian angels, but you couldn't see. And you just think, oh, man, I tripped and I failed, or this thing wasn't, you know, I wasn't worthy of this thing, or how come I didn't get this? But they see it, you know, of course, in more clear view. And what they saw was not good for you. Okay, so let's grab your tarot cards, at least just to explain more of this story. And then also, of course, the answer. Excuse me. Get into that spring allergy season this time of year for me, and that means I have to clear my throat a lot, so I apologize if I do that. And number 5. Okay. So let's get more of a nitty-gritty glimpse here. So the first card, pile 1, is the 3 of Wands. Yes, seeking something. You're like, I've got the plans, and now I'm going to climb that ladder, because the 3 of Wands, pile 1, is all about ambition. It's all about, I've already seen this goal in mind, and now I'm climbing for it. I'm reaching for it. That's the inciting incident that I'm seeing here. It's something that you really desired or currently desire. And then we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, so the Queen of Swords could represent you, pile 1. Could be that you're an air sign or have a lot of air placements in your chart astrologically. But a Queen of Swords in general is someone who is very good with the internal mastery of air, which means communication and thought and logic. So especially, you know, being the feminine side of air, a Queen of Swords is someone who is very good about thinking through things tactically within their own mind. How do I go about this? You know, crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's. And I think maybe that's another reason why it kind of hurts. Because you think, I did everything right. I did absolutely everything I could. Or at least you're thinking, well, I thought I did at least. So maybe that's where that doubt comes in of, well, maybe I did mess up, but I get the feeling, pile 1, like I said, I don't think you messed up, but let's see the other cards. 3 of Swords, yep, okay. Heart of the matter is pain. So this is what I was saying, pile 1. I get the feeling there's a lot of heavy elements around this. Heavy energy, heavy emotions. A lot of sorrow, okay, like with the teardrops, great personal sorrow. Great sadness. And literally, the 3 of Swords here, she's self-inflicting pains, like she's cutting her own wings. Even the depiction of lightning almost looks painful, like it's striking her. Ouch. Oh, not even her own wings, it's her heart too, because the other 2 swords are right in her chest. So definitely lots of pain. I was right on that with the intuition. And then we have the 2 of Wands reversed as this card for, I always kind of read it as near future sometimes, but 2 of Wands reversed is my plans didn't work out. What do I do now? What plan do I have now? I feel like it's almost like you were walking along a path, pile 1, and then all of a sudden, boom, this wind came along and just buffeted you off the path. And then you're like, oh my God, well, what's the path now? Like you got just flung over into this forest and there's no path. You have to like make your own. You have to decide it on your own. And so it's confusing and it's hard. And you're deciding, well, what do I do? And I think that's also part of why you're coming to this reading and want insight on this in general, is because you want to know the truth of it, because you want to know by looking back. This is funny because this is Janus, right? This is why January is called the month of January. It's named after the Roman god Janus. And look what he does. He's got a face to the past and he's got a face to the future. All right. So it's like you right now, pile 1, you looking to the past to be making sure I don't want to make that mistake again, or I don't want that to happen again. And then last but not least, we've got the King of Swords. All right. Funny, because you had the Queen of Swords earlier, right? Especially as an outcome. So just seeing the situation right now, pile 1. I'll just reiterate, though I already kind of mentioned it a lot. It's not your fault. I don't see that you dropped the ball in any way. You, as I said, you crossed your T's, you dotted your I's, especially with the 3 of Wands next to a Queen of Swords, tells me someone who worked very hard logically and tactfully, or I shouldn't say tactfully, blah. Well, probably tactfully as well, but tactically, that's the word I was looking for. Tactfully and tactfully, okay. Say that 6 times fast. Went about going towards their goal, towards that success they wanted. You did everything right. But I'm getting that guardian angel feeling again. Where they said, wait, no, this isn't the right thing. As hard as that is, pile 1, and I'm really sorry because I do see sorrow with this. I see sadness. Not just with the teardrops, of course, great personal sorrow, but, excuse me, with 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords is the heart of the matter, is ouch. We got a big owie to the heart. Owie to the ego, to the confidence, right? But as hard as that was, it was for a reason. And I get the feeling it was to protect you. And also, like I said, even before the tarot cards came out, when I was picking up on guardian angel energy, I mean, you do have a winged figure in your patience card, right? But once again, afterwards we drew the 3 of Swords. She's got wings. The King of Swords has wings, right? Just reiterates to me once again, this is some angelic protection energy surrounding this situation. Okay. And then the King of Swords, too, as an outcome is... it can be positive. It can mean somebody or a situation that represents the values of air, external or masculine, meaning speaking to others effectively or helping other people see the logic of something. Okay. And you know what it says to me, pile 1? Is that even though you doubt yourself in whatever happened, you're still the smart, logical person that you thought you were before the pain came in. And I see that because you have the Queen of Swords here, and then the pain came along, and it was like, oh, ouch, I don't know, I'm kind of uncertain now. And then the King of Swords pops up again. And not only does it pop up again, reiterating that there's mastery over the air element of intelligence and communication, it's the one that's one up from the Queen of Swords. You got even better at this because of this situation. You got even better at the skill that maybe you thought you had failed at, or you had lacked, right? Or you thought you had lacked, at least. This is kind of a reality versus, disbelief in self kind of reading popping out as well, right? Disbelieving in yourself, but the reality is the spirit is saying, no, you're a King of Swords here. The outcome is a King of Swords. You didn't fail. It was just rejection as divine protection. All right, so I do want to draw, let's see. I'm trying to think of what other questions to ask with your reading today, pile 1. But to summarize so far, if there's any answer to what you're asking in one sentence, it would be, you did everything right, it just was not meant to be. For your own good. Okay, but let's do, I want to ask with tea leaves and tarot, just one more here. Like the definitive answer, like more context as to why it was not good for you. Okay, because I think if I were in your position, pile 1, that's what I would want to know. Because I'd be like, well, okay, you can tell me it's not good for me, but why? Come on, give me the reason. Give me the justification. And especially if you are an air sign, pile 1, you like that logic. You're like, come on, give me the logic here. So I'll ask your spirit guides, and probably actually let's ask your guardian angel specifically because they seem involved in this heavily. So guardian angels collectively for pile 1 today, could you tell us more about why was this divine protection? What were you protecting them from? What was so bad about if it had gone through? What was so bad about it? Vine. Seek out information that will help you. Interesting. Okay, so we'll set that one in the middle of the others. And then let's do 3 tarot cards. Same thing, guardian angels. Why? Why was this denied? the moon. That means illusions, pile 1. Something was not what it seemed. Something might have been too good to be true. That's usually what the moon means. Especially upright, it means, and 2, seek out more information. You know, pile 1, if I had, we have 2 other cards to pull too, so just breaks a little bit. If I had to give you one piece of advice, if possible, look into either the company or the people or the circumstances, however that applies to your question, surrounding the thing that you either have, or like are deciding to revisit, or the thing that was like denied to you. Oh, that reminds me. I'm sorry, pile 1 too. For those of you where it was something you're like, it's present tense and you're wondering, should I revisit this? I would see this as a no. Okay. It's like the universe keeps denying it to you because it's that protection. Like, so I would not seek it out again if that's the answer you're looking for. Okay. Sorry. We got kind of 2 levels deep in sidetrack. Okay. Bloop, back to the advice. If there's any advice I have for you, pile 1, just with everything so far, it's that concerning the people or the circumstances around the thing that was denied, or that you thought you lost, or it was like you thought you weren't good enough for, it was not given to you, whatever your situation, right? Seek more information around what it is now, because I think you're going to find out that things weren't as good as they seemed. Like, say, for example, we'll go with the company example. Say it was a job that you were denied after you interviewed for it. Check into that company now and see how they're doing. Did they just have a bunch of layoffs in maybe even exactly the department that you would have been hired into? Or, you know, if you're able to kind of get this information, it's hard to find online, but maybe if you're in the same networking circles, try to find out if the boss that you would have had was actually a good boss. Things like that. Or, of course, apply that to your specific situation if it's not career related, but there's something that's not what it seemed. That's what the moon means. Okay. Why else did they protect you? We have the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, protecting your money, protecting your legacy, protecting your inheritance. Though, can't talk today. There we go. So for some of you, I got it out. If this is family related, there's something about protecting an inheritance, protecting your legacy in some way. But in general, reading this for every kind of situation that might pop up with the questions everyone's asking, the 10 of Pentacles can mean protecting your money, protecting success with money. Okay, I think maybe, you wouldn't have been paid as well, or you could have lost money with this. That's another reason why. Maybe that's part of the illusion. It really wasn't as lucrative as you thought it was. Okay. And then last but not least, we have the Empress. Look at that. Motherly energy, the feminine in the most positive, being upright. That means nurturing. That means something being taken care of, or taking care of other things, right? Think about feminine energy. Also creation. Feminine energy is also creativity and creating things. I think where you would have ended up had you not been divinely protected, pile 1, it would have been worse. Or let me rephrase that. Yeah, if you'd ended up where you had wanted to go, but it was divinely rejected for your protection, it would have stifled your creativity in some way, and it also would have stifled the nurturing of yourself. So sometimes that can mean it would have led to worse self-care, especially if there was like higher stress. Maybe, health issues from stress, things like that. It could also mean there's something to do with nurturing. Like, say, if it's career related, it would not have been good about nurturing your career. Like, it might have been great just to have a paycheck at the time, but it was kind of a dead end, or it wasn't really good in terms of teaching you skills you needed to advance even more. Something along those lines. It's like salted earth. It would have been salted earth for you. Like, it just would not have been fertile for further growth, is what I'm seeing with the Empress, right? And then, yes, 10 of Pentacles, as we talked about money, and then, the moon, illusions. It was not what it seemed. So seek out that information, pile 1. Okay, seek out more info. Or especially if it's present tense, seek out more info. Because if you're considering revisiting something, it's not what it seems. That's what that moon tells me, okay? So I think that is it for your reading today, pile 1. So Once again, my condolences for how saddening this might have been when it happened at the time. If this was the past or if it's happening right now, you're probably very upset, and I 100% understand that, and, wish you much healing and blessings, pile 1. But what I'm seeing here is that in the future, you might look back and think, thank God that didn't go through, or thank God I didn't go down that path. Somebody was looking out for me that day. AKA your guardian angels is what I'm hearing. Angelic energy in general, your angels. But yeah, they're looking out for you. They care. Okay? It's not a matter of worth it. It's a matter of not wanting to see you suffer more. Okay, so that's what I'll leave with you with today, my wonderful pile number 1. So thank you so much for tuning in to your reading. If you liked the reading, if it helped you, please please comment down below. Please subscribe to Lone Pine Tarot if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 1. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading on solving a mystery, answering any question that you've got on your mind right now. And of course, as you can recall, your pile leader today was the very beautiful intuition card, following our gut. So we'll set your pile leader over here to the left as always, and let's start with some oracle cards today. So bear with me as we draw your answer. And of course, look more into the situation at hand in general. So that one says, pick me, is what I'm feeling. Okay. Pile 2, the intuitive hit I'm getting with your reading today is there something that you want to know if you were right about. You want to know, did I make the right choice? Was I right about that person or that situation? I think you were kind of suspicious of something. Or you kind of got an inkling, maybe I was right about that. But it's like this reading is you asking for that answer. Like, was I really right about it? So we want to know, were your suspicions correct? Okay, nothing is prominently popping out, so I will pick at random. And then let's grab the other tea leaves. And I'll tell you, pile 2, most of the time, your intuition's right. But, of course, let's look into your cards to be sure. Okay, well, for sure that one was quite prominent, so we'll take it. And then we will also, of course, draw tarot cards, but we'll draw those a little bit later. So let's unveil your oracle cards to begin the reading, pile 2. So we have Awaken. Oh boy, so that's kind of what I was thinking, pile 2. It's like the feeling of having been asleep to something and then awakening and being like, oh, wait a minute, this is the truth. Like, we think of awakening as opening our eyes. And of course, as a metaphor, opening our eyes is seeing the truth of something. Yeah, I think you're truth-seeking right now. You're really looking for, was I right about that? Did I really open my eyes to the truth? Was that what I was meant to see? Okay. And then the Soul Mirror Oracle today is... we have Creatress. Excuse me. Pardon me. Ooh, my allergies are kind of bad this time of year, so if I clear my throat a lot, I apologize. But you do have Creatress, which is uninspired versus creative. It's interesting, too, because I know it says creativity, basically, is the theme of this card, but she's also holding, like, it almost looks like an incense bowl. There's some sort of smoke, and it's almost like she's, like, smoke scrying, like she's trying to figure something out. And it's interesting, too, that she has the headdress with the moon, like your pile leader does. It gives me, like, very prominent High Priestess vibes. I would not be surprised if when we draw your tarot cards, if the High Priestess comes out, because she also means intuition and tarot, pile 2, but For sure. It's like you saw some signs, you saw the smoking gun, and you were like, I don't know. That looks suspicious to me. And, I think too with creativity, we also think of the word imagination. And it's almost like you were wondering, was that just a part of my imagination? Am I right? Yeah. Let's look at your astral house. We have marriage. Okay. And I know right off the bat, some of you might be like, oh, my question is not about marriage. So just hear me out. Yes, technically this can mean that your question is regarding a marriage or some sort of partnership you had romantically. However, I also read this in tarot in general, as in platonic ways. So this could also have been a really close friendship, a platonic soulmate situation, or maybe even someone that you were in a business partnership with, something where there was a promise or a bond between you that might have been broken, or you were suspecting it was broken, or something along those lines. All right. And then your other tea leaves, we have the Club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. All right, and then we have Heart, love, deep affection, and caring. Yes, okay, so I think that was the other hard part of this pile too, is that you had that bond with this person, or it could also be, if not a person, it could also have been a really strong bond you had to a job, or the situation, or a place even. It's something that was very near and dear to your heart. It's something you really, really deeply cared about, that you had a close bond to, even of course with marriage, we think of the ring because it represents a bond or a promise of some sort. And that's why I think it's a second guessing of self, because you're well, am I really right? Because this is near and dear to me. But it's your eye is open and you're well, wait a minute. And then the Club is interesting because it's yeah, someone will try to make you do something against your will. So pile 2, I don't know if there was a controlling aspect to potentially the people involved or person, or it could also be the place or situation, say a job. It was almost maybe too controlling of your time. Not enough work-life balance, if that's your situation. But I think that's where the first inkling of discontent came about. The first gut intuition of, I don't know. Because it was something thorny that had been a rose without thorns before. And you thought, well, this is a rose, it smells so sweet. But then you felt the thorn and you were oh, wait a minute. Maybe this isn't the pretty flower that I thought it was. A little bit of a prickle, a little bit of an ouch. Very interesting. And I get the feeling it made you mad. Because that's what's empathically coming through pile 2 is an anger, irritation. Of course, there's disappointment, and I think, that type of feeling fuels a lot of things like anger and irritation is disappointment deep down, right? But the surface level emotion is oh, I'm so angry. And maybe you never really found proof, especially if this was a past tense thing, pile 2. You never really found proof, but at the same time, it's it was such a strong feeling. It was you had to follow your gut, or you're considering doing so if it's present. Let's draw your tarot cards. So yeah, and I think, it's possible that for a lot of you this is romantic because, marriage and the heart both came out, but either way, something you really deeply, deeply care for. And that's, the other hard part of it, pile 2, is that we second guess our gut intuition when there is something or someone that we really deeply care about. Because we want to give them the benefit of the doubt. We want to say, hey, well, wait a minute. I love this place. I love this thing. I love this person. But just that niggling doubt in the back of your head. You're well, wait. So we have the 9 of Coins or Pentacles reversed. Interesting as an inciting incident. That's what I call the first card in my 5-card spread, pile 2. The 9 of Pentacles reversed as an inciting incident almost tells me that the first inkling of doubt was, yes, maybe a bit of control, but I also see, this card as you're not reaping the fruits of your labor. Everything that you put into this person or the situation, it's it's not giving back to you 100% reciprocally. So there might have been also just a frustration of, like, I put in so many, like, blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, and it's like trying to grow a garden, and instead of getting the crop of your efforts, it's like it just was ash instead. Just tasted like ash. You're like, well, I don't know, like, that doesn't feel right. And then we have, interesting, the Six of Wands means victory. Okay, so there might have been something that kind of went on an upswing for a while. Like maybe you kind of brought that situation to light. You were like, I don't know, I'm not feeling like I'm getting what I'm putting in. And there could have been an upswing. It could have been like, well, things are victorious again. Let's look at the other cards. And then we have the Hangman reversed, needing to look at it from a different perspective is the heart of the matter. Okay. Then we have the Eight of Wands, which means something done with speed or quickly. And last but not least, we have, excuse me, there goes my voice again, the Six of Swords, moving on, needing to physically move away. Yeah, so pile 2, for sure. I mean, what I'm saying in this situation is, yes, you had the doubt about the person in the situation, etc. It's like you opened your eyes, you were trying to see the signs, you saw, where there's smoke, there's fire. You're like, I don't know. You also were frustrated, I think, with not getting out everything that you put into it. What's interesting is, like I said, with the Six of Wands, there's an element of victory here. There's an element of, like, it got a little bit better for a while, and so you thought, well, maybe I was wrong about that gut feeling. But then something came along and forced you to change your perspective. Or if this is a current situation that you're asking the question about pile 2, right now is the time to change perspective. So that's the present, is the Hangman, the heart of the matter reversed, is needing to look at something from a different way. Also, the Hangman can mean sacrifice, needing to sacrifice something reversed. And so maybe that's part of your issue is you're like, well, I don't know if I should move away from this thing or this person or this situation because it's like chopping off an arm to get free. Ouch. That's a big sacrifice, right? Not literally, obviously, but you know what I mean? Like, use that metaphor applied to your situation. But then we've got the Eight of Wands and the Six of Swords. Really quickly, boom, needing to move away, get away from something. Okay. So trying to read this for every situation or question that each and every one of you who chose pile 2 might ask, right? Extrapolate what I said to, like, if you're asking about someone else's intentions or like how they felt about something, read this as their feelings, okay? But if this is you, that's kind of how I've read it so far. Like, if you're asking about like a situation where you've doubted something, and if you're looking for an answer, like a path to go ahead, like what next choice to make, it's get away from the situation. That's what that Six of Swords means, get away. Because it's like, literally, I can't remember what Greek myth specifically this Six of Swords represents, but I know it's a Greek myth of a mother and a son trying to escape from something, trying to get away, and especially the Eight of Wands means quickly, doing it fast. So if you are considering moving away from something, that's your answer. Move quickly. Get away from it. Okay? I do want to ask more questions for you, though, because I asked extra questions for pile 1. And I'm trying to think what is the best question to ask. I'm going to ask the truth of the situation, the truth of the thing that you've had the gut instinct about. What's its true nature? Let's do that. Let's grab a tea leaf. What's the true nature of the thing that they had the gut feeling about? Or person, it could also be. Shield. You need to defend yourself. Yep, pile 2, that just is just like the Six of Swords that keeps ringing true. Needing to get away, needing to protect yourself from something. I don't want to get super dramatic and scare anybody with this reading, pile 2, because you know your situation far better than I do. Me just, giving a general reading here on YouTube, but there's an element of, I don't want to say danger, but because of the Six of Swords and the shield, you need to defend yourself. it would probably be good for you to protect yourself and get away from whatever this is in any way that you can, okay? That's what I'll say on that. Let's grab your 3 tarot cards as well. Excuse me. Oof. Got the scratchy voice today. Okay, spirits for pile 2. The true nature. The star reversed. Lack of hope or faith can mean and then the King of Cups, interesting. Needing to protect your emotions, your feelings, protect your heart. It's the masculine meets water, right? Meets the heart, meets relationships too. And then we've got the 7 of Pentacles reversed. You know, it's interesting because before I used the garden metaphor, pile 2, that also applies very well to the 7 of Pentacles. However, reversed, what it means is an inability to plant seeds for the future. There's something about where you're at now, or were at the time of like the time period of the question, if this is past tense for your pile 2, where there was a stagnancy. It was not good for fertility in terms of your goals. It was not good for your future. It was something, or currently is something, that you would do well to move away from because there's somewhere else out there that's better for you in terms of making strides towards your goals in the future. Okay, right now where it is maybe not so good, right? Yes, and then of course we have the star reverse, which is lack of hope or faith in something. Doubting something. And by me having asked what's the truth of this situation, they're saying your doubts are right. That's what that star reverse means. And then we have the King of Cups, which is, yes, also advice to cherish your own heart, to protect your own heart. It's, you know, the protective of the masculine meets water in relationships, as I said before, too. The truth of the situation is that you also have more emotional power than you think you do. That's why that King of Cups also came out, right? It means, pile 2, that you should defend your heart more, which is interesting because, you know, we have the shield too, needing to defend oneself. So, I mean, kind of an intense reading, pile 2. Like I said, you know, take every, and I'll say this, pure honesty, pile 2. Every single tarot reading you ever get, whether it's from me or somebody else, take with a slight grain of salt. But like I said, what I'm seeing is if you have an instinct to get out or get away from something, your instinct is right. All right? It's good for you to move forward and leave something behind for the sake of protecting yourself, protecting your own heart, especially with the King of Cups. All right. And you know, I'm going to ask you one last question here, pile 2, or ask, I should say, for you. You're going to get a special 3rd tarot reading today. Okay, don't tell the other piles, I'm spoiling you. But it's because I want to know what is bad about if you stay. Just hypothetically, right? Or if you don't listen to your gut. Could you give me just one card on that, Spirit, for pile 2? What's bad about if they don't take the movement of the 6 of Swords? Thank you. Three of Pentacles reversed. Lack of teamwork. Someone's not going to work well with you. Someone's not going to do their fair share of work. It's bad because it's not a teamwork environment. It's bad because it's a place where you have to shoulder the most of the burden. I think that kind of connects back to that Nine of Pentacles at the very beginning, reverse. I remember that with the melons, the garden metaphor. I almost wonder if you're being taken advantage of in some way, pile 2. Especially because of the Three of Pentacles can mean like, it's almost like the group project card in reverse. It's like one person having to do the whole entire group project, which of course I know we all probably experienced at one point in school where you had a group project, you had to do everything by yourself, everyone else got off scot-free and got the A, right? Yeah, so, apply that to your situation. If there's any answer that you walk away from this reading from, or with, I should say, I can't talk today, it should be pile 2 to protect yourself because other people involved are not going to work with you. It's better to leave them behind, so that you can find someplace that is more supportive, where you can plant more seeds for the future, where you don't have to doubt all the time. You don't have to defend yourself. You have to worry about that, okay? So, that's your reading for today, pile 2. Kind of an intense reading, like I said, great assault with every single tarot reading, so I don't want any of you to walk away from this reading feeling any fear. I want you to walk away feeling empowered with knowledge and empowered with, maybe some more tools to help you make a decision, especially if your question specifically was more present or future tense oriented. Or same thing, for those of you this was past oriented and you walked away and you were wondering, was that the right thing to do? 100% thumbs up, you did the right thing walking away. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. So I hope the reading was helpful to you. I hope you liked it. I hope it resonated. And if so, please like the video itself. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to Lone Pine Tarot if you have not done so already, because that helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile 2. Bye. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about solving a mystery or answering the question you have on your mind right now. And as you recall, of course, your pile leader today was the beautiful centering with the, almost looks like a fae being with the butterfly wings in the mirror. And it's interesting, pile 3. There's something about remembering why you did something in the first place. Really just came up prominently as I was looking at your pile leader today, but let me think about that more as I draw your cards. We're going to start with oracle cards today, actually, and understand more about the situation at hand that you're asking about. But yes, remember what you got into this for in the first place. Okay, well, look at that. We've got trust. Don't even have to flip it over. Kind of just flipped over itself. Trust. We'll talk about that when we're done shuffling everything else. Interesting. I don't know if you're doubting a path that you're on, pile 3. Are you doubting about a choice you made? You're like, I don't know if that was the right thing to do. Or are you wondering, should I stay with something? Could be staying with a university degree, focus of study. It could mean, excuse me, I also want to apologize in advance. My voice is kind of scratchy today from allergies, so if I clear my throat a lot, that is why. But yeah, it could be you're questioning an area of study with a degree that maybe that you got into, or a job, or maybe a relationship, something along those lines, and it's like you trying to figure out, does this match up with what I want? Okay, we have, and it flipped over once again by itself, we have throne, position of authority. Talk about that more in a minute. Let's grab your other tea leaves here. Position of authority. Could also be for some of you, pile 3, that you're wondering if you should take a management position, or you're wondering about the authority of somebody, if you should trust their authority, if they're doing the right thing. And it's conflicting with why you got associated with this person or this situation in the first place. You're like, well, why? That doesn't really match with what I wanted. Should I trust this? Take that one. And let's unveil your other cards. Okay, so from the Soul Mirror Oracle, we have wish, despairing versus hopeful. We have the butterfly wings once again. Well, the wings at least in your centering card, and then the butterflies in the wish card, which represent rebirth, pile 3, in most cartomancy circumstances. But really wanting something or despairing over something. This is something you really desperately want an answer over, I can tell you that. I feel like your question, pile 3, is no. Easy. Should I eat a donut for breakfast tomorrow type question, you know what I mean? That's obviously, I'm making a little bit of a joke, but literally though, I get the feeling this is something you really are like answer, or excuse me, universe, please, please, please answer. I don't know if there's also like a time element to it too, because I think of that with the candle of trust. It's like time running down, like running down to the wire. And you're like, what the heck do I do? And I only have so much time to figure out what choice I want to make or if I should stay on this path. And then we have wealth as the astral house. Okay. So something to do with money, something to do probably most likely with your career or a job. Or it can also mean wealth in, more metaphysical ways, not just coin. It can mean the wealth of, spirit. Maybe there's something spiritually misaligned that you're kind of wondering about with where you are, the situation at hand, be it, yeah. And I keep forgetting, some of you, this might be a question from the past, too. Like, maybe you're wondering, well, did I do the right thing when I made that choice? And then we have bowl. Plenty of material things. Yeah, okay. I think this is career for most of you, or something to do with money of some sort. And we have a lot of gold imagery, too. I mean, obviously, we'll ignore this deck, because this deck is completely... It's always gold, but your wealth card, your throne, and your bowl all have, like, gilded items, right? Or made of gold. And it's like... I keep thinking of that quote, too, pile 3, all that glitters is not gold. It's also possible that part of it is, like, something was better than, or was not better than it seemed. It's like... someone spray painting a worthless rock gold. And because it looks gold on the outside, other people thought it was just the greatest thing ever. But then you were like, I don't know. I think that's just a spray painted rock. I don't think that's real gold. Kind of a silly example, pile 3, but yeah, it's like a career choice. Something along those lines. I don't know. Or something to do with career. A boss. And you're like, I need this answer now. Just like begging the universe. Sorry I'm so quiet right now, pile 3, but sometimes when intuitive things come through, I'm quiet for a moment, but... remembering what you got into this for. We'll remember that too. Okay, let's draw your tarot cards. See more of the situation at hand. And of course we will also look for the answer that's part of the spread, so... the answer to your question. Okay, well that one, yeah, okay, so we have the 3 of Pentacles, and what that means is the inciting incident, pile 3. Is something to do with teamwork. And once again, Pentacles usually mean career, finances. Okay, so once again, money, your job. And so it's like, too, with 3 of Pentacles being a teamwork card, it's like working well with other people or not working well with other people doing their work. I joked to pile 2 about this because they got the 3 of Pentacles as well. I tend to call the 3 of Pentacles the group project card, and sometimes, as we all know, with a group project, people don't always pull their weight, or one person has to pull all the weight. Unfortunately, we're all familiar with that, I'm sure. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Also, too, remembering that could be reading this for multiple different questions, right? Pile 3. If you're asking if money is coming in, yes. Big thumbs up, yes, there's money coming in, if that's something that you're kind of wondering about. Let's see, we also have the World reversed. Okay, it's not the end of something. Fascinating. Something is not coming to an end. We have the Ace of Swords as the heart of the matter, the light bulb moment card. I've got an idea. Shing. Okay, Fascinating. Then we've got the Sun reversed. Ooh, right after that. Lack of truth. Lack of happiness. And then we've got the Ten of Cups. Happily ever after. Emotional fulfillment. Good for relationships too. Okay, same thing too. If this is a relationship related question you have, pile 3. Yes. The answer is yes with that, in terms of like if it's a question of, oh, are we getting together or does this person like me? Things like that. That's what Ten of Cups usually means. However, reading this for every single person, outside of just romantic questions. So we have teamwork, we have something is not the end, and then we got a new idea. And I keep thinking back, to the intuitive message of remember what you got into this for in the first place, or what you wanted this for in the first place. Maybe questioning your path as well. And, I can see that for those of you that are questioning your path, if you're wondering on whether or not to stay or go, I would see this as a stay reading as an answer, because yes, we have the Ace of Swords, which can mean a new thought, a new direction of the mind, but you also have the World reversed right before it, which tends to tell me it's not the end of something. However, what I will say is there is still something that's not 100% great about staying on this particular path either. It's kind of like I don't want to say between a rock and a hard place, because that's more negative than what I'm seeing here with these cards. But I will say there's something about staying on the path that you're on, even though that's what's being recommended, where there's some sort of at least initial unhappiness or an initial dishonesty with the Sun reversed. And, I'm trying to think of good ways that to explain how that can manifest. So, like, for an example, say if it is a job and you're wondering, should I leave this job? Should I stay with this job? Yes, stay with the job then in that particular situation, or extrapolate this to your particular what's going on that you're asking about. However, using the job example, it is possible that it might not be the most happy job with the Sun reversed, or it might not be the most honest job, like say maybe there's something kind of ethically weird about the company. But in the end, staying with where you are, as long as you keep your own nose clean, right, is leading to a happiness of some sort with the Ten of Cups, an emotional fulfillment. Okay. Let me grab one more card on the Sun reversed. I'm curious. Spirit, can you explain more about the Sun reversed, that unhappiness or that dishonesty? Okay, that one was like, pick me. Okay, we're also going to pick that one. We'll take 2 cards actually, pile 3. We have the Queen of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles reversed. Okay, the dishonesty or the unhappiness is surrounding something about the way that, once again, we just have so many pentacles popping up. It just makes me think of finances, career, money. It's something about the way fairness is enacted here. I think there might be one feminine figure involved. Like, she's the Queen of Pentacles, and she does well. She makes the good money, right? She's doing successfully, but there's an unfairness here because the Six of Pentacles reversed means a lack of equal distribution. Okay. But there's something that's telling me that if you choose to leave or take the different path, it's still not better. Like, this staying where you are or staying on this particular goal or path is better. And you know what? I've been asking an extra question for everybody today. And I think for your extra question today, pile 3, I want to ask, well, what would happen if you did leave? Because I think that, if you're weighing kind of a stay versus go situation, or even if this is past tense, pile 3, where you're wondering, like, should I have stayed or should I have gone, depending on what choice you did make, I think it's good to get clarity on why. So this is if, this is the hard part about staying, is there's a bit of dishonesty around fairness. Or lack of fairness in general, okay? Even though this is the better path. But let me ask, if you were to leave, what would happen? they were to leave, what would happen? Why is it not as good? So Tree, affairs with your family. Interesting. It could have been something with family would have been negatively affected in some way. Let's grab 3 cards for this too. Okay, well that was... one just flew out. We'll take it. So first up we have the King of Cups. Something with your emotional health would have been maybe worse off if you had, or if you do, past or present or future tense, you know, adjust it for your situation that you're asking about. Emotional health, being able to protect your emotions is how I see the King of Cups. We also have Temperance reversed, lack of balance or moderation. Okay, leaving also could have, or if present tense, will lead to a lack of balance, lead to a lack of, like, I almost get the sense, especially for those of you, and I think for a lot of you, this is career, like finances related, it's like burnout. That's what I'm saying. It would have led to a lot of burnout or will if you leave. And then we have the Ten of Swords. Okay. Ten of Swords too. I mean, kind of a gruesome card, and every time it comes up, this is why it's worse to leave, or if you had left, why it would have been worse if this is past tense, right, is because, excuse me, because there would have been like a really negative end to it. You would have been burnt out. You would have had to like really go on the defense for your emotional health and your heart health, you know, in terms of your feelings, your emotions, relationships with other people, even I think maybe affecting your family because of that Tree card, pile 3. And then also with the Ten of Swords, it's like a gruesome end. It's sometimes it can even mean betrayal in some ways. Maybe not as much as the Seven of Swords, but for sure Ten of Swords is, you know, I mean, because this figure was holding onto the boat and someone cuts their fingers and then they slip off and they drown. Okay, so that could have also meant, like, say if it was say you had an opportunity to go on a different career path or to a different job and you didn't take it. It could have ended up that company folded, and that's why it would have been like trying to hang onto a boat and your fingers getting cut, because it's like you're trying to hold on to stay afloat financially, and then it would have been, you know, as negative as some certain things can be with the path that you either stayed on or currently are considering staying on, it's worse, or would have been worse, to have left, because you would have ended up in a worse situation because of, like, you wouldn't have been able to stay afloat. And then, of course, like, yeah, the work-life balance things we were talking about and affecting your family as well. Okay. Yeah, and I'm trying to read this for every potential question that could come up, but, or that any of you might be asking, of course, but do know it's going to work out in the end, though, because you do have the Ten of Cups as an outcome. That's emotional fulfillment and happiness. If I did give you any piece of advice, I would look back at the Ace of Swords, pile 3, and I would say, even if staying feels like stagnancy, find ways to look at it from a new perspective, or find a new refreshing thing to invigorate your interest in this path again. Remember what I said at the very beginning, pile 3? What did you get into this in the first place for? What was your goal? What was your intention in mind? And has that intention slipped off? Has it changed? Why did you get into this career? Why did you get into, say if it's a relationship, why did you get into the relationship? Why did you decide to do this thing? Join this book club. Be with this person. Insert situation here. And that will further provide your answer as to whether or not it was a good or a bad thing to stay or go, or same thing too, like if you're wondering about, you know, a choice going forward, weigh it against the feather of, why did I get into this in the first place? What is my intention? And linking that back to your pile leader, pile 3, centering. Centering means refocusing, okay? I can even say the Ace of Swords sometimes in that way too, is a refocusing. It's almost like a magnifying glass. What thought is driving this action? Okay? trying to see if there's anything else. For those of you, and really prominently, like I said, I think a lot of you, this is like a stay or go situation. I do want to ask one last extra question. So actually, you're the most spoiled pile today, pile 3, because I'm asking one extra question more for you than any other pile. But I am curious that no matter what choice you make, what is the positive aspect of how you go forward? What's a blessing on the path that it leads to? So let's ask that, because we'll leave it on a high note, right? So Spirit, let's see, what blessing is on the path that they choose going forward, or that, that they will have if they've already made the choice. We have dog far away. A distant friend is thinking of you. What an interesting card to get in this situation. And then I'll grab one tarot card, at least. One or two. What's the blessing on the path forward for them, though? The Hangman reversed. I sometimes would read that in this situation as the blessing is not having needed to sacrifice something, that if you had chosen the other path, you would have had to sacrifice something. It can also mean the blessing of a new perspective, or at least maybe currently now you don't see it from that perspective, but you will in the future, and it'll look like a blessing. That can be one interpretation. Let me grab one more tarot card here. And the King of Wands reversed. Okay. Can also mean, as a blessing, a King of Wands reversed can mean getting away from a person who has temper or anger issues. Someone who is fire out of control. Or it could be a fire sign that is maybe not the nicest person around. And maybe even that was what means, dog far away. Maybe it was a friend or a person you kind of moved away from or considering moving away from, pile 3, which means, the blessing is getting away. The dog's far away. You don't have to worry about it anymore, right? But, or them, I should say. And 2, reading if it's not your specific situation, for others of you, the dog far away almost makes me think that there's something about the path that's going to take you to someone that you were friends with at one point that you lost contact with, or they have been far away and then they're moving back to you. I don't know if they moved away for a job or like just to study overseas or something, or they lived overseas for some reason, or a different country in general. It might not be over the ocean. That's my American mind thinking like, oh, there's oceans everywhere on each side, but of course you can move far away on the same continent, right? And it's like the blessing is they're coming back. Okay. So, kind of, I apologize, pile 3. It's kind of a scattered reading because I'm getting a lot of different energies on this reading. But, keeping the key concepts in mind with, remember what you got into this for. If it's a choice of stay or go, stay. But you are on the path to emotional fulfillment and happiness, even if there is some little speed bumps of unfairness along the way. Okay? Things like that. And remember, too, the one piece of advice is find a way to reinvigorate where you are, your interest in what you're doing right now, or where you are right now. Okay. That was the other piece of advice, yep. Okay, so that's what I'll leave you with, pile 3. I hope you liked the reading. I hope it resonated. And if so, please like the video itself. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to Lone Pine Tarot if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 3.